Hello there, my fellow tricksters. I'm sure that's what we all like to be called. I am 20 years old, and I actually just turned 20, and I have been considered a trichotillomaniac since about 8th grade. Technically, with me, it started in 6th grade with my eyebrows, but it wasn't as that serious then. But then in 8th grade, that's when it started going to my scalp. And I am now doing probably what we all have tried to do and all failed miserably, and that is that goal to be pull free. Now, I've tried it before. I've been pull free maybe for like a day at most, and then I just lose it. I am now on probably almost a week. Have I relapsed? Yes, I have a couple of times. But I haven't given up, which I know is probably something that we all try to do. But I'm making these vlogs to hopefully keep myself on track and maybe to help some of you guys out there to realize that you're not alone in this. We all each have our individual struggles that are all unique to ourselves. But I figured I just would help some of you guys maybe, or you guys could help me in return. Now, each week will probably be a different topic, and I just obviously have to do this disclaimer that I'm not a doctor nor an expert on this stuff. I'm not even a biology major. Yeah, I'm a geology major. I can tell you about rocks, but not about hair. But anyway, so one day when I was on Tumblr, I decided to actually search, hair pulling in the tag thing. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have tried this as well. And well, about like the first post was actually about trichotillomania, but it was in a different language, which was surprising. But then about one in every 50 posts was actually had to do with it, and all the other 49 posts had to do with like sex or porn and BDSM, and I'm kind of just like, oh, okay, okay. And then I remembered, you are searching on Tumblr, you're gonna find this stuff. But so I figured I would put these videos up on Tumblr. I did find some other blogs too that I have to do with trichotillomania. I made me realize I'm not alone, and I figured, you know what, maybe I can put these up and be Tumblr famous. Woo! But I'm just gonna kind of describe you how it all started. So, it was 8th grade. I was one of those like honor roll students that, like always got good grades. And so obviously I felt the pressure to always have like the good grades and everything. And my hair is curly, as you can see, it's naturally curly. And I would always straighten my hair. My hair was extremely thick, but I would always straighten it because I didn't really know about the whole scrunching thing. So when I just left it dry, I'd just go like that. So I would always straighten it. And my friends were always like, hey, Gina, why don't you put your hair in a ponytail sometimes? I hated putting my hair in a ponytail. I did dance, and I would have to put my hair in a bun, and I hated it. I hated it. And, well, my mom hated it, too, because she's the one that had to deal with my huge, thick, African-like hair to put it up in a little bun. So I hated it. My friends were like, come on, Gina, do it. So I did. I hated it, but I did. So my hair was, like, back in a ponytail, and we had a quiz in Spanish that day, and I was actually struggling with it, and I'm like, come on, Gina, it's Spanish. Spanish is your thing. It's just a little 15-point quiz. I didn't think of that at the time, of course. And so normally with my hair being straight, I would actually kind of twirl it a bit. Well, if since now that day it was back in a low ponytail, and instead of going for my ponytail, I was just, scratching my scalp, and well, I pulled out a hair. And dun dun dun, that's exactly how it all started. Of course, I didn't realize this. I mean, I knew I had pulled that hair, but I didn't think it was actually going to turn into something. And so a little bit later, I'd always had like hair appointments like every month to get my hair trimmed or something like that. And it was a lady we knew. I danced with her daughter. She's a family friend and everything. And she, noticed a bald spot at the top of my head. And we all thought maybe that it was the straightener accidentally yanking out on my hair. So we said no straightener, and we said, okay, now you have to go all natural curly. But that is when I realized I preferred having my hair curly than straightened, which obviously made bathroom time go by way quicker. But if anyone is also, we'll say, just a side note here, if someone asks you, oh, why you have that bald spot, just be like, oh, when my straightener did that to my hair or something. You can do that. I did that because I believed it because I didn't realize I was pulling out my hair. Um, it continued and it spread all to like the crown of my head here. You can kind of see it. I will probably put up a picture though. I did take a picture of the first day. I decided to be pull free so I can do like a before and after thing. And so we obviously noticed it continuing. I was at the doctor's and I am terrified of needles. I actually had to get my blood drawn for the first time to make sure my iron levels were okay, and to see, oh, maybe it's something like this. A part of me secretly knew I was pulling my hair, but I didn't want to say anything because I thought it was weird. I'm like, no, it can't be that. Like, come on, I can just stop. Yeah. I can just stop. I think we've all told ourselves that. And I'm sure other ignorant people have told us that, not even just with hair pulling, but with some other stuff as well. And we all know, yeah, we secretly enjoy pulling our hair, which is something that people think is weird and don't understand. And maybe we think it's weird and don't even understand it ourselves. But it's okay. People bite their nails and get relief from that. And it's alright, guys. Don't worry. But anyway, so as this struggle continued, um, I went to a dermatologist, and yes, dermatologists actually do stuff with hair, which I never knew. And that's when I first got diagnosed with the trichotillomania. And when I first heard it, I was like, that sounds like the name of a dinosaur. That's very interesting. But I was relieved, though, that there was a name for this. I'm not, my hand is randomly coming in the screen. I'm not like this really weird, crazy person. Like, people have heard of this stuff. However, there isn't exactly, a cure for it, which I'm kind of just like, okay, well, do something to make my hair grow back faster than I can pull it, which is probably something we're all wishing for. And my dermatologist is like, there really isn't something that can do that. The pulling just needs to stop, and there's a chance your hair might not grow back. Well, that gave me a heart attack right there, obviously. But then there was me, I'm just like, oh, I'll stop, I'll stop, I'll stop. Yeah, this is like ninth grade, guys, and I just finished my sophomore year of college, and it did not stop. Well, so my doctor did, she put me on an antidepressant, and which I was like, what? But it was also, antidepressants are also used for anxiety. Now, antidepressants might not work for everyone, or you need different dosage, but I was first on fluoxetine, which is the generic form of Prozac. And I started at 10 milligrams, and I've been on it since ninth grade. And I varied from 10 milligrams a day to 40 milligrams a day. And I have noticed a difference, but there are times where I will slip. But it's, in a way, my hair pulling has gotten worse, but I've also understood it more and have been much relaxed about everything else. Just recently, I actually just changed to the actual name brand Prozac, and I have noticed a difference. So if you don't notice a difference, it could be because your medication is generic. But then again, antidepressants and stuff like that don't always work for everyone. But that was kind of the first thing I was on, and it wasn't working right away. And it felt kind of weird because it's like, oh, we don't know what's wrong with her. Give her this drug, try this thing, try this. And I was just like, what am I, an experiment here? But in ninth grade, I started doing hypnosis work with a psychiatrist, a hypnotist, and it worked a bit, but I noticed that after the appointments, like about a week after, I'd be fine. I'd be like barely any pulling, but then it would like spike up again, and then there'd be like, it's like next appointment, no hair pulling, then hair pulling, like a little like a graph or something. And eventually, I think around the end of my sophomore year is when we kind of stopped it. It was more of a, we're not seeing a huge improvement, let's stop it. And I didn't really go to any other therapy or anything like that, which was surprising. But I still continued on the meds, and there were sometimes I was perfectly fine. I'm like, I'm not pulling out my hair. And I, of course, thought no one noticed. Well, the thing is, people obviously did notice me pulling out my hair in class. They just didn't say anything to my face, which I actually kind of preferred. I just like living in my fantasy world, thinking no one like noticed me doing it or anything. And if someone asked what's wrong with your hair, I was just like, oh, it's just, like remember I used to strain my hair. My strainer pulled it out 3 years later. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jane, you haven't straightened your hair for like 3 years. No, 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 it's the straightener. It's the straightener. Yeah. People just didn't want to ask questions, which I actually do kind of appreciate. But some people did obviously be like, oh, she's such a weirdo, blah, 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 blah. And it did hurt me, but my friends that heard it did, stick up for me, even though they didn't even, like, know that I was pulling my hair. They were just like, stop saying that, stop saying that. And, well, then, obviously, I don't know about you guys, but I took a lot of EP tests when I was when I was in school, and seriously, when I took tests, it was writing, polling, polling, writing, polling, polling, polling. Like, I was so relieved that that floor in that room that we had to do our tests had carpet in because you couldn't really see the hair on the floor. If it was a tile floor, you could just see all this hair, and I would actually like kick it with my feet to try to like spread it around. Like, oh, this isn't from me. This isn't from me at all. It's from that kid, with the blonde hair, not the brown hair. Um, and so it did feel weird to me. And one of my memories, just from when we really started realizing this is kind of a problem, was when I was always in my room, so I always pulled out my hair in my room. My room has carpet, so the hair would be in the carpet, but it was kind of concealed. You couldn't really see it. But then my mom came in to vacuum, and well, the vacuum broke and actually almost caught fire because you could smell burning hair. So I came up to my room and she was actually on my bed with the vacuum pulling out hair. And on the floor, it seriously looked like a wig just on the floor. And that's when I was kind of just like, oh. Like, I used to lie and be like, oh, I cleaned out the hairbrush. Like, I pulled the hair out of the hairbrush to clean it. And my mom's like, oh, yeah, no, I know you're lying. Shut up. But and so I remember also always being nervous because of my hair to like bend over or something. And I also always remember not being able to do all these cool things with my hair because I don't have enough hair on top to like push it back or anything. I can just basically put it in a ponytail. I actually just recently got bangs in. It was about a year ago is when I finally got bangs and I was able to have bangs and actually straighten it. And that was just a really nice little achievement for me. That's all I'm going to talk about today. It was kind of boring, but we'll see how the rest of it works out. I mean, comment, follow me on Tumblr. My Tumblr URL is the trickupmysleeve.tumblr.com or whatever it is. It's a really cool name, Trick Up My Sleeve. Come on, think about that. I wanted Trick or Treat, but someone else already had that. But I decided to, start doing that. And just comment or send me messages about your experiences. When have you started? Did you know? How did your family react? That sort of thing. I'll try to do these once a week or maybe twice a week if I'm lucky, and we'll see maybe how well I can do this, and maybe I will be pull free, or maybe you guys will be. I mean, you guys are probably watching this and pulling your hair at the same time. Stop. All right. Bye, everyone. My tricksters. That's such a cool name. Come on. Bye.